Haku. Hello, welcome to AIM TV. My name is Michael Cordero, and tonight we will be talking about the coastal band of the Chumash Nation. Our guests tonight are Darlene Garcia, who is the legal liaison for the coastal band of the Chumash Nation, and Rosie Uribe, who is the Elder Representative for coastal band of the Chumash Nation. So welcome, and we just want to talk a little bit about the coastal band and the history and where it's been and where it's going. So where and how did the coastal band of the Chumash Nation begin? How did it first start?
It started with Kobahi, and it was mostly family, and we wanted to know where our roots were. My grandmother and my mother and an aunt and Della Molina, a cousin, and I drove them from Monterey all the way down to San Bernardino, checking, our roots that came around, and it was the Kobahi then, and my mother had that, and she did a lot of things, she did a lot of arts and crafts, and wanted to know where her roots came from, and that's how it started there, and then it went into coastal band, and Darlene will tell you about that.
Yeah, I believe roughly around 1981, Francis Franco worked at the Santa Barbara Indian Center. We had an Indian Center here, and she had the desire to seek federal recognition for Chumash people and families that weren't enrolled in San Ynez.
Mm-hmm. Where did the name Kobahi come from?
It was a village site. Was it a village site?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I
was very young back then.
Yeah, we were just starting, and we just knew it was Kobahi, and they said it was a village site, but I don't really know. Our elders are the ones that know that, but we're elders now.
Yes. And so then from Kobahi it went to coastal band of the Chumash Nation. How did that come about? You said that they wanted to seek federal recognition. So who was involved? How did that?
There was 7 groups, local groups that had Chumash members, and there was also other Native people that were members of those groups. And so Mrs. Franco brought together the 7 groups, and she asked for 2 representatives from each, and they had a meeting at the Indian Center, and we talked about how those groups were going to seek federal recognition. And in the beginning, it was only going to be Santa Barbara area that was going to establish the tribe. And some of the groups, one of them was the Brotherhood, and I think there was a couple other ones that had members that were not just from Santa Barbara, they were from the other 2 counties, Ventura and San Luis. So we decided that we didn't want to leave anybody out. So we formed the Tri-Counties, formed the coastal band.
You mentioned the Brotherhood. This is the Brotherhood of the Tomol?
Yes.
And they're the ones that, what was it, 1976, I believe?
Yes.
Took the Tomol around the islands. Right?
Yeah, they built the Helic, and that was actually done in my parents' yard.
Okay.
A lot of it.
That must have been an exciting time.
Very exciting.
Yeah. And so from that, then the coastal band has gone forward from there.
Mrs. Franco got a I think it was a $25,000 grant through the Indian Center to start working on genealogy and history. Mm-hmm. And at the end of that period, they submitted a letter of intent to the Bureau of Indian Affairs.
Okay. So as time went on, you've become involved in lots of different things. What are some of the activities, some of the events that the coastal band has been involved with?
Well, We started out with really getting involved with culture resources prior to Coastal Band. The groups, the local groups here, you know, felt the need to protect the sites, and we were really involved in LNG, stopping them from developing Point Conception.
Okay, when you say cultural resources, you're talking about the land and the development of the land on places where there have been villages and
Sacred, yeah,
sites.
sacred sites.
Okay, and so then through that involvement, you became involved in the fight to protect Point Conception from the development of LNG.
Yes.
And how was that handled? Who got involved in that? Was from Coastal Band?
I really didn't go there. I went only a couple of times to take food and stuff, but Darlene was there, and my sister, and a lot of family members.
My brother, Colt Loda, he was one of the key players in Point Conception, along with Al White Bear, and there's quite a few people out there that. And then San Ynez got involved, some of the elders from San Ynez, and then we had people actually come from all over the United States.
Mm-hmm. So what was taking place at that time? Were they trying to move into use heavy equipment on the land?
Well, they actually dug a huge pit. I mean, you could fit a semi-truck, probably several semi-trucks in this huge, they dug out this huge area, and that's, Point Conception is a very sacred area, and in our history and in our stories, it's a place where our souls leave, you know, to the other side, to the other world, and so we didn't want any development out there. So it took, I think the fight went on for almost maybe a year or so.
And in the end, what happened?
They didn't develop. They just, you know, walked away from it.
Very good. What other kinds of activities has the band done?
We do a lot with children and try to teach them their roots, and because you have to start at the beginning and know your heritage before you could go on to new things. And it's very important for the children and even adults, because some of our elders, they don't know, you know, our history either. I'm still learning, and I've been there. Me and Darlene have been there since from day one with our parents, and you always learn something new, and you try to, you know, to have them learn first of where, to be proud of who they are and where they came from. And this is, you know, we've had 2 summer camps, and we had the Indigenous youth group, which we don't have. We're trying to get a new group now, so we could, you know, teach the children, because we've let that set for a while, and we have to go back, and whoever wants to learn, you know, we need to do that.
So the Indigenous youth group was aimed basically at what age levels?
It was from 5 up.
5 years old.
Up. We had a lot of adults, and we got a grant from domestic violence for 5 years, and I ran, me and Monique Sanoki ran the program, and then we split, and I don't know, she's up north someplace, but you know, we had a really good group, and we'd meet once a week, and then we were at American Indian Health, and they helped us a whole lot, and a lot of other groups.
Okay. And so what about for the older people, for elders, and what kinds of activities do you have?
Well, before we used to have movies and then a lot of paperwork. I do a lot of handouts to when we go to the islands. I handed some papers so they'd know, you know, about their heritage and what was going on. And I want to redo that again. Now getting ready to retire. So I want to try put all my focus into our tribe to teach our elders and our young ones, you know, to be proud of who they are. I come from both sides of my parents are Chumash and Hispanic. So you gotta, you know, be grateful who you are and to know your roots from both sides.
Now, she mentioned the islands. Has Coastal Band been taking part in the Tomol trip to the islands, the crossing?
The last probably 4 years, they've been really involved with the crossing, and I believe 4 years ago we supplied the Saturday meal for them. The Coastal Band went out there and cooked for them and stuff. And that was actually my first year there. And it was a really good experience for me because I was really connected to the Brotherhood and the Helix when that was being built. And so it brought back a lot of memories and stuff. And the one thing at the island, there's a lot of different Chumash groups, but out there we're one people, one Chumash people. And even our visitors that are here that are non-Chumash, other indigenous people, you just feel as one out there. So it's really moving, and it's a really good experience for, you know, if anybody has young children, to take them out there, because they really get to know their people.
Who is on the tribal council now for the Coastal Band?
Our tribal chair is Tony Cordero, and of course you, Michael, you're our vice chair.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Crystal Baker, she's our treasurer. Barbara Lopez is the secretary, and Rosie is the elder rep, and myself, I'm the legal liaison.
What is being legal liaison? What does that involve?
My job is to, if anything legally comes about, that I work with the attorney and just to gather information, and if we have any legal things come up within the tribe, try to do some research and, you know, make sure we're in compliance and stuff.
Good. And your elders rep, so what do you?
I do elders luncheon. We're having our elders luncheon on May 26th this year. And we try to help our elders, people that don't see enough of other people that are confined to home. And it's more like outreach. And American Indian Health has a elders group too, and our group is there from there too. So I try to go to both and just keep in touch with most of them, because, you know, they want to know where they came from and see everybody, so it's nice seeing everybody.
Mm. Yeah, and I think that having the elders together
is a good thing,
yeah,
because they don't feel like they're left out. And there's not too much of us left anymore, and so we try to get it, you know, as many times as we can. And I'm going to try to get like movies for the elders to look at about our history, because they're interested too, because, you know, our history was taken from us, so now we need to get it back.
Okay. I know that Coastal Band is sending at least a couple of people to the United Nations Forum this next month, is it?
Actually, next week.
Next week.
They leave.
And you went last year, right?
I did go last year. We had a workshop that was presented by Marcus Lopez, and a couple people from 7 Generation came down, and we got really moved at the workshop. So Gino, who's from the northern area, and Venice, who was our tribal chair, and myself, we